Hey y'all. I'm not surprised. This is not acting the way I want it to. So I'm about to do something a little different. I actually recorded this video, and I recorded it because I had no idea I was going to say the things that I was going to say. I didn't know the conversation was going to go like that, but I said, I made it into a video, but because I'm a small creator, like my channel, my videos don't really get pushed. So I was like, I don't think anybody is going to watch it. So I recorded it, and I said, I am just going to play it back. Because I actually I really do want, feedback. And I know sometimes I get interaction when I go live. Sometimes I do. But yeah, I'm going to flip the camera and I am going to play the video. So, yeah. I don't know if I want it that loud. Okay. I know there is a better way to do this. My mind is not working right now. Oh, good. Nobody is on right now anyway, so. Okay. This is what we're going to try. Okay. Let's see if this works. Sometimes you gotta get creative. You gotta try to figure it out. So, okay. Like I said, if you're just joining, this is the video. I'm about to play the video in hopes that I can get some interaction, some responses. So, here's the video. It's crazy. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. I know the answer. Okay, hold on. Let's start it over. Oops. Okay, here I go, y'all. Here's the video. Why is it that when you start making too much sense, people will label you as crazy? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. I know the answer. This is my thing. I feel like, in a sense, because I've already been labeled, as being crazy, I feel like I should be able to say certain things because all they're going to do is just try to discredit me anyway. It doesn't matter. I could say something good. I could say something bad. I could be telling y'all to win in lottery numbers. But motherfuckers would be like, she crazy. Don't trust her. Don't believe her, right? That's what they do with people that have mental disorders. I find it so interesting that, again, we're all being, this is what I wanted to say. We're all being controlled. Most of us are just too blind to see it. So, at this point, I'm being honest, I do have, like some diagnosis, So I do have mental health diagnosis, right? But what I feel inside my head compared to what they try to tell me is going on, like, that don't even make sense. That didn't make sense. That didn't come out right. It's like what I feel, my mind and society and the world try to tell me that it's not real. They say even though I have tendencies and symptoms, they say I don't have schizophrenia because I don't like see anything or hear anything, right? That's what they say. However, if you really pay attention, you do see things that other people don't see, and you do hear things that other people don't hear, because most people, we're so blind to I don't even know why I've been sitting like that, and then I wonder why my body be hurting. Lord have mercy. Damn, what was I saying? I know I was saying, yeah, we've been so conditioned to just accept what we've been told. And anybody that speaks outside of that, they always label us, as being crazy, bipolar, schizophrenic, conspiracy theory, all these things, all these negative titles that they put on us, right? But they're only put on us when it's a convenience to them. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. Take Kanye, right? When Kanye came out, they called him a musical genius, right? He's so brilliant. He's so open-minded. He thinks outside the box. He's not afraid to go there. He says things we're afraid to, like, they praised him, right? He was the best thing ever, right? But then once he started speaking his mind, what's the first thing they said? And I forgot to add it. Before, they knew he had mental disorders, and, they blamed it on him losing his mom and all this, whatever. But once he started speaking out, first thing they said, y'all know Kanye crazy. Look, we are so conditioned to just, I guess this is what ebb and flow is called. I'm not sure. If I'm not right, somebody correct me. But I feel like because society has conditioned us, brainwashed us, literally brainwashed us into believing whatever we see, whatever we hear. And I mean, this video probably won't be seen because most of my videos don't, especially, when you talk about things like this. But I just find it real ironic that they push what they want to push, and then they suppress what they want to suppress, what they don't want people to know. And I just really find that so interesting, because they tell us what they want us to know. We wouldn't know about none of this shit if they didn't tell us. Even on TikTok, everything has an algorithm. Every single thing has an algorithm. If they did not want us to know these things, we wouldn't know. So I just think that's so crazy though. Whenever you speak outside the norm, whenever you become a free thinker, whenever you start questioning things, you always get labeled. You always get labeled. It's crazy. They love you one minute, they hate you the next. The same people yelling Hosanna in the highest were the same ones saying crucify him, right? Look, that's how we are. We love you today, we hate you tomorrow. Like that's just where we are. And social media, all it does is rot our minds and our brains. When I tell you I struggle to sit through anything that's longer than 10 minutes, it has to be really, really, really intriguing, really, really, really interesting. And even though I'm watching it, I'm still doing other things. I'm still on my phone. I'm still, like, our minds are so, they're controlling us. And they label us and give us disorders and put us on medicine to control us, right? Because I say all the time, when I took medicine, the issues that I have, I still had them. I still had depressive episodes. I still had manic episodes. I still felt depressed. I still felt suicidal. I still had racing thoughts. Like, I still didn't trust people. I still had, like, delusions. Like, I still had all these issues. I still had ADHD. I still had all these things, even when I was taking medicine. But whenever you talk to a mental health provider, the first thing they want to do is push medicine to control you. Because for the first time in my life, I feel like I can really think. I was on mental health medicine for like 12 years, right? That's a very long time, to be suppressed. And I mean, I've always been inquisitive. I've always asked why. I've gotten into a lot of trouble because I talk too much and I say things I shouldn't say. I do things I shouldn't do. That I've always had that, but like so many of us, I grew up in one of those societies, one of those families where we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about mental illness. We pray. We go to God. We take our problems to God. Like, I grew up in one of those families. And because I didn't go along with it, because I always, look, there are some things you just know. Based on what I saw around me and how I saw other people move and act, this is even as a child. Based on how I saw, other people were treated versus me and all this or whatever, I always knew I was different, And the fact that I was growing up in this family where, we don't talk about those things. So what do I do as a child? I suppress it. I keep it inside. I've always been creative. I feel like as a child, because I didn't realize it then, but I realize it as an adult now. I spent a lot of time alone as a child, and it's because people didn't want me around, and it was because I thought different. But again, I just got labeled as bad because I grew up in one of those families where we don't talk about that. We don't talk about mental health. I would never forget, I told my mom I was depressed. And she was like, oh no, no, we don't talk about that. We don't use those words. And I was just like, wow. And you know the sad thing about that, and I mean no shade to my mama, but the sad thing about that, when I had my first son, I dealt with postpartum depression. But because I grew up in a family where we didn't talk about mental health, depression, we didn't talk about these things, I had just had my baby. I was so happy. I was in love. That was my baby, right? I wanted to die. I wanted to die. I was like, why do I not want to be here? Like, clearly I'm happy. I love my baby. I have a baby, right? I did not want to be here. But because I grew up in a family where we didn't talk about mental health, I kept it inside. I didn't even tell my husband at the time. I didn't tell anybody until years later. And we always talk about those generational curses. Mental illness is a generational curse. And again, because we don't talk about it, because we push it under the rug, because we don't want to acknowledge it. We think ignoring a problem makes it go away when it doesn't. Like I said, as a child, I was always creative and I always spent a lot of time alone. I used to like to write. I still like to write. Like, I have a blog. I wrote a book. Like, I've always loved writing, right? I used to write all the time, just imagining these things, right? I don't know. I was just writing about things. In my mind, I knew the life that I was living was not the life I wanted to be living. So when I would write about my imaginary world where literally I was the center of attention, right? So I used to write about that, just creating, expressing myself as a child the best way I could. My mom used to chastise me. Why are you wasting so much paper? There was this show that used to come on. I'm showing my age. There was this show, Lois and Graham Elephant Show. Something. It was back in the day, y'all. I grew up in the 80s. Something like on Nickelodeon, like, they get dressed up, put on costumes, they do skits, they dance, and all this or whatever, right? I used to like that. I used to, if I know I'm finna watch my show, I'm gonna go put on my dress so I can perform with them, on the TV, right? My sister, she used to pick at me so bad. What are you doing? Why you put on a dress? Like, go sit down somewhere. Like, nobody, it's like I was a burden. I just got on everybody's nerve. Like, nobody was like, she's just trying to express herself. Like, nobody literally ever took up for me. Nobody ever took up for me. Never, ever, ever. And because of that, I got manipulated. Of course, I got molested. Like, child. I do have mental disorders. I do. I accept, I agree. But a lot of what I'm dealing with is unresolved childhood trauma. Yeah. God, my head hurts so bad. And that's literally the point that I'm making. Um, I've been off medicine for almost a year now, and oh God, my hair hurt. Oh Jesus. It's like I'm starting to think for myself again. I'm starting to think for myself again, and through my walk with Christ, through my relationship with God, I am learning who I am. I'm learning to love me. I'm learning about the world. I'm learning about people. I'm learning about everything. I literally am learning about everything, and it's like the more I learn, the more open my mind becomes, the more like mentally strained I am, the more physically strained I am. My body is in so much pain. Like, I literally spent 4 hours in the ER yesterday, and I think it's TMJ, but Friday night I went to Cat Williams concert. And it was so good, y'all. It was so good. It was so good. I laughed. I literally laughed for like the show started at 8, and I think we left at like 11:30, something like that. I literally laughed for hours, right? And I had a headache already. I already had a headache. And I guess all that laughing, because I laughed. Oh my God, I laughed. I started having pain on this side of my jaw, of my face, right? And I was just like, oh my God. You know, I've had a TMJ diagnosis before, so I knew what it was. Hold on, let me grab my cup. What you doing, Andre? He wanna come in here so bad. I'm sorry, I really don't. I'm not gonna edit this. I really just want to post this. I wish I would have went live, but I did not know where I was going with this. But yeah, I was having the pain over there, and like I said, I have had a TMJ diagnosis before. Normally it's on this side, but for whatever reason it's on this side. I was told that TMJ was caused from one of the mental health medicines I was taking, Geodon or Ziprasidone. And child, by the time I stopped taking any medicine, I was taking 120 milligrams. Now, granted, that was the only medicine I was taking, Geodon, but I had tried a bunch of other medicines, and I know at one time I was taking, the last time I tried to take Paxil, girl, that's all I know. Look. But anyway, so normally TMJ, I'm so glad I can come back to my train of thought. Thank you, Jesus. So the TMJ was, normally it's on this side. All of a sudden it's on this side. So all this yesterday, it was hurting. It still even hurt a little today, but all down here, like even when I chew, like TMJ got something to do with like the jaw muscles and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So all this was hurting. But Yo, when I tell you, yesterday my ear was hurting, like inside my ear. And I was like trying to self-medicate because I don't like to take medicine. You know, of course, I'm paranoid. I don't like to take medicine. But so I tried to I laid like a ice thingy, like like a heating pad or ice pad, pretty much. I laid it on like this side of my face. Couldn't have been no more than 15 minutes. When I took that off, it literally felt like somebody was like stabbing me, like digging in my ear. When I tell you, it hurt so bad. In my life, I have never, ever felt that. It was so scary because I was like, what is this? Right? I spent 4 hours in the ER and I'm telling the doctor, I think it's TMJ. He was like, no. I said, I have a migraine, which I did. I had a migraine, but the migraine didn't even hurt as bad as the ear hurt. Like the pain inside my ear, it hurt. It hurts. It hurt worse than the migraine. Like I literally told the doctor, I said, if all I had was a migraine, I wouldn't even came to the hospital. But because the inside of my ear was hurting, he was like, what did he say? Oh, he said I had wax buildup in my ear. I was like, what? It's weird. But, they cleaned out my ear, and I mean, apparently I did. I don't know. But the pain literally started Friday night, so the ear buildup didn't happen Friday night, So although I did have buildup in my ear, I still had TMJ, which is what I was telling him. And he was like, no, I don't think it's TMJ. And they wanted to give me some medicine, and they got to give you an IV, and I don't know what was in that IV. The shit didn't feel right. It just did not feel right. And so I told the girl to take it out. And she was like, well, we could just give you medicine. I said, yeah, just give me a pill, because this shit, no. Because they don't be telling y'all all this stuff. There is this medicine called prednisone, and they give it to you in your IV, and that shit makes your vagina burn. It lasts a good 15, 20 seconds, and it burns. They don't tell you that. The first time that happened to me, the guy told me, he said, it's gonna feel like you did a workout. I said, okay. He put that stuff in that IV. I said, sir, why is my vagina burning? He was like, oh yeah, that's the prednisone. Last year I went to the ER because I had a horrible migraine. And they gave me prednisone. They gave me like a cocktail with all kinds of stuff. And prednisone was in there. And of course, the same thing happened again, the little burning sensation. So, yeah, I didn't want to go through that. And then they said they had a different medicine they could have gave me instead of prednisone. I don't remember the name of it, but it literally did the same thing. So I literally said, so basically you're replacing the prednisone with this medicine because it's still going to make me burn. Look, all I know is since I've been thinking for myself, and I've always been inquisitive. I consider myself a socially awkward creative. I'm a nerd. I like things that people don't like, but I didn't make my point from earlier, but because of all the issues that I had growing up, being the way that I was, being made to feel different or less than because I didn't act like everybody else and think like everybody else, I tried to suppress it because I felt like I was treated the way that I was because I just didn't think like everybody else. But again, nobody ever said she's just trying to express herself. She's just trying to self-medicate, whatever. I don't know. I'll never forget. I was in 7th grade. And again, I always been a creative. I created this it was kind of like a crossword puzzle with like a word search, kind of creative type thing combined, right? And I used the girls I knew in school, right? And I literally was just asking questions. I'm in the 7th grade, right? I said, which of these girls wear glasses? Which of these girls live in, whatever little town? I'm just little girl questions, right? And one of the questions I asked said, which of these girls have ever worn weave, right? It was just one of the questions, just one of the many questions. Do you know, I will never forget the way them girls attacked me for that one question. Now, keep in mind, all before this, at times, they would pick times where, okay, we need a raise for this. We'll use her for this, right? So there were times where people made it seem like it was okay to be me, but then other times, somebody won't deal with her. But it's like, I literally have dealt with it my whole life. So, a pill that controls a racing thought, supposedly, depressive symptoms, self-esteem issues, we could go on and on and on. Can you see why a pill is not going to fix that? If I have anxiety because I was in a horrible car accident, which I was, giving me a pill for anxiety is not going to take away that feeling or that thought or that remembrance of that really bad car accident, right? The medicine, all it does is mask the symptoms. None of it heals. None of it cures. Mentally, I may be dealing with a lot, but I don't want to be back on medicine. I don't ever want to take mental health medicine again because I felt like it controlled what I thought. And that coupled with spiritual warfare, oh yes, I love God real bad. All that together, there are literally times where I'm trying to figure out what's real from what's fake from make-believe. Don't read too deep into that, but I'm just saying. Child. Oh, God. But my point that I'm making, sat in the hospital, went through all that, got a fake diagnosis, whatever. The issues that I'm having All these tests I do, I've done MRIs, I've done blood tests, I've done X-rays, I've done all these different tests. I did a mammogram. I do all my tests. I get HIV, I do STD, I do everything. Everything is negative. Everything is negative. But I have all these symptoms. And the crazy thing, even when on my way to the hospital, like, child, they sent an ambulance to come get me, and it was crazy, child. But they said they didn't want me to drive because the way I felt. Now, yes, I was in pain, but I felt like I could have drove, but they didn't want me to drive, so, okay, whatever. But I literally said to them, I feel like what I'm dealing with is just stress from my mental shit, and it's just boiled over or manifested into physical symptoms. That's how I feel. That's what I think. That's literally what I feel like is going on. And I feel that way because think about what they say. Stress will kill you before anything else will, right? Aww. Oh no. Oh no. Oh well. Yeah, it froze up. Well, if you are interested in hearing the rest of the live, I will post it as a video. I kept saying, like, dang, I hope the phone don't ring. I ain't even think about it. Like, I literally did not think this through at all. But again, I will post it as a video. And
where you be posting it?
Huh?
Where you be posting it?
Oh, on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, you have some valid points. I mean, most people say the same thing. I mean, because medicine isn't the answer to all things.
It's not.
But prednisone make you burn. That means you're allergic to that. You got to be allergic to it.
I didn't know that meant I was allergic to it. I thought it just meant it was a side effect.
Well, because prednisone is nothing like it's like a steroid. Mm-hmm. It helps boost.
Yeah, make the other medicine work. That's what faster. She said. Yeah. Oh, it make it work faster. Okay.
That's what it's supposed to do. But that, people have different side effects because of their body. So. Mm-hmm.
But you think that means that I'm allergic?
You could be allergic to it.
That's crazy.
The reason, and you should, because a lot of times it be like an allergic reaction, just like some people break out in hives. Mm-hmm. So that could have been. Wait, I never heard anybody say it.
It's happened twice.
Cause I know, like some one time I've never had a reaction to antibiotics, but one time I had a reaction to antibiotics, and that's when I found out they give you this pill for yeast infection. Cause I never had like a yeast infection. Even when I was pregnant, I used to hear people say they got yeast infection when they were pregnant. Never heard of it. So different people have different, side effects, but that could be it. Like,
I just think I didn't get to that part in the video, but how I look at medicine in the whole healthcare industry, it's not meant to cure you. They're not. Medicine is not meant to cure you. It's meant to treat the symptoms, and keep you coming back.
Yeah.
That's why when people take high blood pressure medicine, they gotta keep taking it. If you on anticoagulants, you gotta take it every day, right?
Because they're not trying to get to the root of the problem. But
Yeah.
to the root of the problem,
they gonna lose money.
Yeah, any disease can be healed, but it's gonna take work.
Yeah.
And so just like when I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, then I went back to them. I stopped taking their medicine. I changed my eating habit and everything. And the lady, she said, you have put yourself in remission. Y'all didn't do it, but all y'all had to do is say, let's try change your eating habit. Diet. And just, I told them all the stuff that I was using, which was herbal stuff.
Yeah,
had no more problem. Even when I went and did even when I went to get my colonoscopy, because they started giving me a colonoscopy every year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and for a woman, that's you don't normally have to take them every
Not
year.
every year. No.
Yeah.
They act like that's a mammogram.
Exactly. When you said you were recording, I was looking at how content he was just sitting. So I was thinking he was calling him.
I was recording. It's still going. You're not on it, but it's still going.
It was so funny. I was looking at him. I was like, oh, maybe.
Oh no, he had his moment towards the end. He had to make his presence known. I had to show him in the video.
When he was looking, I was like, oh, he must be following her voice. I thought you were doing like an experiment with him, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. But that's funny, but this, and that was another thing that reason I fought so hard with my goddaughter. I didn't want her on medicine because it does like you can't react your normal way. You can't, and you're basically under the influence of the medicine doing what it wants you to do.
That's literally the point that I was making. Yeah. It is control.
She when she was on her medicine. She would sit and she would watch TV all day. If I instruct her to do something, she'll relay it back to me, but it was had her in slow motion. And I knew that it wasn't really her, but it helped her to cope with day-to-day life. Without now that she's not on the medicine, now they see that, well, we need to get her on this to slow her down. Cause she's impulsive. Mm-hmm. Very much impulsive when anything comes to her mind, she's going to do that, even if it's safe or not safe.
I told you, when you were telling me about her the other day, I was like, wow, she sounds like
you. And that's the part that used to make me nervous. That's the part that why I want.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you, medicine is not going to stop her from being impulsive. If it's her personality, what I've been learning, if it's her personality to be adventurous, to, now, yes, the mental illness does amplify it, mm-hmm. but the medicine, it's not gonna stop it.
Well, see, that's what I knew, and that's why I took her to therapy. That's why I did activities to keep her busy, because I didn't want her on the medicine. I didn't want her to depend on something that I know that if she's not around,
it's artificial. It's not natural.
If she decides not to take that medicine, then we back to square one.
Yeah.
In an adult age. So that's why I didn't want her taking the medicine. And another thing that I know how they tried to put me on medicine after I had lost my child. My thing is this: that's not the answer. I went through some trauma, and I needed to get through that whole portion.
Yeah.
So I didn't take their medicine. I found me a therapist that understood spiritually, because every person that has went to school for being therapy, everybody shouldn't be touching you and dealing with you, because this is not a book. We're an individual that has different stories. We have different side effects, I'm gonna say. And you got to have somebody that's trained with that type. And sometimes you need a person that knows spiritually and physically, because they run parallel.
Of course.
And I found this one lady, and that's who we was using, and to be able to break through the barriers with us. And that's how I ended up going back out, doing what I love to do, because I've been with her for years. And even after I know that I'm better than I were, I still chose to stay with her because I know medicine wasn't the answer. And had all my kids put them up under her. Now she's getting ready to locate to Florida. But I told her, I say, if you still can keep me on as, cause
like video.
Yeah, I would do that because she had an office here, and she had an office in Warner Robins and Fort Valley, and we used to go to either one of the offices. But now she just have she has the Warner Robins office, but she only do it like once or twice a month. But we don't see her now but twice a month. When now with my goddaughter, we used to have her every week.
Oh.
But my goddaughter loved it working with her because she say I feel so much better after I leave her because she let her get out what's going on, and then don't judge it, just let her be herself. And so we kind of coordinate together with, okay, how was your day? You share what you worked on, and we continue that day to day through, at home. And
you know what I think the problem is? I don't mean to cut you off. I think the problem is there are too many people that this is just a job to them.
Yeah.
It's just, everybody got a story about the VA. But within all those horror stories, there are some stories of, this one nurse or, maybe a couple nurses.
Yeah.
She really cared.
Yeah.
She really wanted to help. She, she was trying.
Yeah.
You could tell it was a passion for her.
Very few.
But
be a very few, but
I think that's the problem with.
They'll trample on people that's, the very few because we ain't big enough.
Yeah.
We ain't big enough. They'll trample on us.
I really think that's literally what the issue is that number one, they want us to be on medicine so they can control us and they can make money. It's two, control and money. But then, although we acknowledge and we know that there is holistic care, your insurance won't cover it.
Exactly. Because I said I was going to write up a plan to see, like, basically just implementing things that I have researched and used to better cope.
Mm-hmm.
And they ain't letting it come in.
That's literally what I said about this video. I said, I started it. It should have been a live, but I was making a video because I didn't know what I was going to say. But once I started talking, I just kept talking. But I said, a video like this, they not going to let this video be seen.
Yeah.
Telling the real truth, what it's really like, no.
They story, putting it out there because it's so many people that, they want to say something, but they too afraid to say something. Because most is having to lean back on the system, and the system is kind of beat them down in a way they can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something else. Like, I'm say it the way they used to tell us: damn if you do and damn if you don't.
Pretty much.
So we have to just find a way.
That's basically, that was the title of this video. Like, I told you this before. Like, everything that I'm dealing with, I literally feel like is stress and it's mental warfare, spiritual warfare. We talk about that. And because I do this test, I do that test, I do this, every test I do,
come back negative.
Everything say negative.
I've been there, done that. That's why I'm like, they tried to put me on medicine and thought it was in my mind. No. But come to find, and the therapist, she asked me the same question. She was like, where she explained it to me. She said, you can be experiencing those things so to that it gets in the mind, and now that it's in the mind, you're no longer hurting no more, but you're still expressing those symptoms. And so when the way she explained it to me, I started looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna work on that even more.
Yep.
Because God has His way of doing things. So I understand.
Yeah.
Been
And
there, done
that's
that.
what that's literally what I'm saying. Like everything that I'm dealing with, the physical stuff, this is my punishment for walking away from Satan. This is my punishment for saying I want God. I want my life for God. So they say
Fight for
Satan
it.
cannot, he can't, they say he can't physically cause a storm,
So
but
he's gonna attack this.
mentally
Yeah, he's
he
gonna
can
attack this.
attack your brain, and
And when he
that's
attacked this right here,
where the mind goes, the body follows.
so
Yep.
see that was that whole thing. You cut off the head of the snake and everything else followed. That was where that concept come from. But people they don't want us to know anything.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, been there, done that. Look. That's why I used to tell because they used to call me crazy, and guess what? I say, well, that y'all call me crazy, but
The one
you
thing
all
they
out here.
always say about crazy people, that motherfucker be telling the truth though.
Look, you get but you out here, you're not getting anything, and you want somebody to give you something. I'm out here still trying to make a way. I'm the crazy one, but you want somebody. You gonna sit on your butt and not get nothing. At least I got sense enough to go and apply for something to fight, to help me fight. It might not do but a T to B, but at least to get a scratch. So
Yeah.
so that's I mean.
The thing about it, like that, yeah, literally, that's, and I'm gonna get ready to end this video, but that's literally
But you
the
just got to
point that I'm
keep fighting.
making is that depression, whatever you choose to call it, all this stuff, it only wins when you stop fighting.
That's it. You got to keep fighting.
Once you give up and once you give up and say that's it, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And I think with me personally, my depression is used to me saying, you know what, I give up. I don't even want to do this no more. And, just like last week when I was like, look, I don't want nobody to come by.
And I listen, and I understood. That's why I said, let me let them know because I get it. You're not the first one that done had to do that, but I get it because I've been there. Look, I won't be in my little dark room. I got my LED red lights around the room, and that's what I want. No TV is on, nothing. I'm just laying there.
Yeah.
Because I just want that peace, and I just want to be in my moment. So I get it, and I'm like, I want to make sure I checked on you because, although I don't feel like you at that state of doing anything to yourself, but I know that thing can be a thing heavy on you. So and people need people around them to make sure that they're okay. At least check on them. Yeah. I mean, if you can just check on them. If when I was going through, I can't remember the people that checked on me. If they seen me come out that door, then they knew that I was okay. That's why I was glad I had a spouse that I started because. When I come out that door, they knew I was okay. Other than that, nobody checked on me. But I learned through that to check on people. Because I know how it felt for nobody to check on me. Now, when my mom was alive, she was going to call me all day, every day. You okay? Because she know what I was going through. And she know, and she used to tell me all the time, she said, when you get down, she said, you're going to see how many friends you have. She said, they going to show you who they are. I know what it felt like. And although it's just one of me, but I try to touch as many people as I can. I wish it was more of me, but hey, thank God for me. But yeah, I know what it feels like. That's why I started in the healthcare services from day one because the services that was offered to me, that's the same service that I provide to people because I thank God that I was able to get back up from that point. But I still have my moments. And that's why I've never, this is why when this agency said that they was changing over to W-2, that was a big hit for me, because I don't know when, like, if I had one of my I'm gonna say challenges. I call them challenges. If I had one of my challenges, and just because I can't show up, I'm out of a job. But before, it was basically on me.
You were kind of like a contractor.
I'm a contractor, and so you know that, and that's why I said that doesn't do anything for me. It only helps them. But you gave me no incentives. Now, if I could have seen the incentives in it, then it would have made sense. But you gave me nothing different. You don't even buy me gloves, which you're supposed to. But me just saying something ain't gonna do anything, because all the rest of the people that's not informed that they're supposed to do these things will have to say something and have to report to the Georgia Department of the OSHA. It's basically OSHA. So I'm like, you know what? Look, I might be here today, and tomorrow I might be doing something else. You know, because I'm not gonna let them drain me for being the great me.
Yeah.
So I get it. I thank God for the people that.
But I had to. I'm sorry. I'm finna get ready to end this, but I said all that to say, you know, I knew I couldn't just sit around and be sad. I had to get up and do stuff. I had to be productive, you know, but I don't know. Right now, I feel like I need to just lay down for a second, because the inside of my ear started back hurting.
One day at a time. You just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, but I thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, my girl. You know I'm not gonna say your name in the video, but thank you for watching. I will post the other video so you can see the whole thing, but this is my real life. All right, bye guys.